we've got Good evening and welcome to Joliet, Illinois and Joliet Memorial Stadium as we open play in the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints soccer campaign. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's season opener as the Fighting Saints take on the Foresters of Huntington University in Game 1 of the 2021 season. Although I guess technically it's our second 2021 season. Feels like we were just here. The soccer season was pushed off to the spring last year, and so the last time the Fighting Saints played on this field, typically go about 9 to 10 months between games here, but this year it's only been about 5 months. The last time they played here was March 27th, and here we are today back at the normal schedule and ready to get going to start out this year. The Saints are on the field in white. The Foresters, appropriately enough, are wearing green. They stand on the right side of your screen. St. Francis is on the left side, and they get the first kick of the game as they send it away. St. Francis is going from left to right. They'll be shooting into the south goal for the first half of today's game, and Huntington is going from right to left. They'll be shooting into the north goal for the first 45 minutes. Of course, they'll flip sides at halftime. Huntington throws it in from the far sideline as they try to take possession, but knocked right back out, and the Fighting Saints will get a throw in here. Saints on the attack during the first minute of today's game as they kept the ball in the attacking third of the field. Huntington tries to clear it from the back line, rolled out to the far sideline defensively, pushed forward. Give you the starting lineups in just a moment as Huntington makes their first attack, and the Saints take it away. That was Kelly Piotrowski winning the tackle, and the ball back for the Fighting Saints, who send it back to the defensive line. Lauren Pekalski has it intercepted. That was Reagan Sanderson who took it away for Huntington, pushed back towards the goalkeeper of the Fighting Saints. And the Saints goalie Yadira Estrada sends it back out towards the sideline and out of bounds. It'll be a Huntington throw in here, just about a minute and 15 seconds into the action. St. Francis and Huntington both playing their first match of 2021 as that ball is sent into the box, headed away by Piotrowski back towards the corner, and that goes out the back line. So we're going to have our first corner kick of the game and our first corner kick of the season. It comes from the far side for the team in green. Huntington will get it back in from the corner. That is Ashton Patrick who has the ball set up. Patrick sends it in. Out towards the top of the box, knocked away by the Fighting Saints. Loose in the box. It's picked up by Grace Gibson of Huntington, and Gibson keeps the attack alive for the Foresters. Sylvia Harris passes it back, and the ball is chipped into the box where it's picked up easily on one bounce by Yadira Estrada. Estrada rolls it out to Emily Galvin to reset possession for St. Francis. So you've met a number of the starters by now. For the Fighting Saints, it's the freshman Emily Galvin, along with sophomore Alexis Mariquin, Litzy Mendez, Allison Shar, Anna Jakubiak. The ball sent into the box, cleared by Lauren Pekalski. Sanderson trying to keep it alive for Huntington. Sanderson tackled off the ball, but regained by Grace Gibson. Huntington still on the offensive here. This is Sanderson. Sanderson rolls it to the outside. Gibson tries to chase it down as she goes into the corner, and a little bit out of her reach. That was last touched by Huntington. It's out for a goal kick, and the Fighting Saints will probably finally get a chance to get it out of their own zone here. It's been stuck in this part of the field for the last several minutes. We're about 3 minutes into the action. No score yet between St. Francis and Huntington in the 2021 season opener. The rest of the starters for the Fighting Saints are Litzy Corona, Natalie Salgado, Lauren Pekalski, Grace Giallo, and Kelly Piotrowski. A lot of fifth-year seniors back for another go-around for the Fighting Saints, so that means not a ton of new names in there. Huntington able to clear it to midfield and across midfield, just outside the circle. Here come the Foresters, working their way from right to left and taken away by the Fighting Saints. Nice job there by, that was Allison Shar taking it away. Off to Grace Giallo along the near sideline. Giallo gives it up to Litzy Corona. Corona tries to set it up at the edge of the box. Sent into Shar. Shar tried to get the shot off there, but it's knocked away by Huntington. Nice defense by the Foresters. Now they look to clear and are not quite able to do so, but it is knocked out of bounds, so the Foresters will get a chance to regroup defensively. But St. Francis still in the attacking zone here. Good defense that time by Madison Pamakeda. She's the one who initially knocked the ball off the foot of Shar and prevented a good shot. The team has yet been able to get a good look at the goal as Giallo tracks it down to the corner. There's the cross from Giallo, headed away. And off towards the sideline once again, near side. It rolls weakly out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in for St. Francis. Just under 41 minutes to play in the first half. Still just getting things started here in Joliet. Tossed into Shar, one touch back out to the sideline, and Giallo forced off the ball quickly, and Grace Gibson takes it away from Grace Giallo. A couple of Grace G's going head-to-head. That time won by Huntington's Gibson. For the Fighting Saints, here's Galvin. Emily Galvin rolls it out to Piotrowski. They reverse field now, going off towards the far side. Salgado forced off the ball by Ashton Patrick, and Patrick controls it on the defensive end for Huntington. Take a quick look at the Huntington starters. Ashton Patrick, Courtney McCone, Alex Bryant in the starting lineup, along with Reagan Sanderson, Sylvia Harris, Avery Jaguar, Megan Smith, Kalena Stevens, Madison Pamakeda, and Grace Gibson. Litzy Mendez pushes it ahead for the Fighting Saints. And now Corona trying to get a better look at the net. Litzy Corona back to Mendez. Rolled to the outside. There's a cross, and it goes straight out of bounds. That's going to be a goal kick for Huntington here. 5.5 minutes into the first half. We have no score. Quick look at the goalkeepers for today's game. Yadira Estrada gets the start for the Fighting Saints. Estrada, one of two senior goalkeepers on the roster for St. Francis. She and Ellie Provo have exchanged playing time over the last several years. Provo got the lion's share of it last season. She played in 10 games and got 816 minutes in net. Estrada just 3 games and 205 minutes. Out of bounds. This is a St. Francis throw-in on the far sideline. I'm going to get him set up if something happens. Tossed into Estrada. And knocked out of bounds. Another throw-in coming up for the Fighting Saints. Estrada last year made 9 saves in her 3 games played. She allowed 6 goals, a 2.63 average. And she officially had a record of no wins and 2 losses for the season. The starting goalkeeper for Huntington today is making her collegiate debut. Ireland Arney is a freshman out of, not Ireland, but Austin, Texas, who has not yet been challenged by the Fighting Saints, although they've had the ball on that side of the field. They haven't had a good look on goal yet. The Saints control from the defensive end right now. Salgado turns it upfield, off towards the sideline, just shy of midfield. Battling for possession is Jakubiak. It's knocked away from her out of bounds. Good play by Huntington's Ashton Patrick, the senior midfielder. One of just a couple of goal scorers still on the roster from last year's Huntington squad. They only scored 11 goals last year. And of those 11, 8 moved on. So only 3 players who scored last year for Huntington are still on the roster. Each of them scored only 1 goal, so they'll be looking for offense from new places this season. They've got to replace a lot of production. Piotrowski chases that one back on the defensive end and sends it out in front of her to the goalkeeper, Yadira Estrada. Estrada restarts things from the defensive side, rolled to the near sideline. This is Giallo working her way up from the midfield. Giallo against a pair of green shirts, sends it backwards, and now back out across midfield. Here comes Litzy Corona. Corona, long run trying to chase that ball down, working against Alex Bryant. Bryant is able to get her foot on the ball and keep it in bounds. Bryant turns it back towards the middle of the field, a dangerous pass there. But she's able to hook up with her teammate Kalena Stevens. And Huntington is able to clear it back across midfield. Just about 36.5 minutes to play in the first half. Not a ton of action so far as the two teams feel each other out early on. The lights are on here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Sun is still up and will be for the majority of the first half here as that ball is knocked off of Corona and out of bounds. So the throw-in belongs to Huntington. There are, however, some rain clouds in the area, so there's a potential for some bad weather a little bit later on in this game. Of course, all parties, I think, would prefer that just held off until after this one is over. We'll see how it plays out, but it is starting to get a little darker here in Joliet as the Saints get another throw in from the far sideline just across midfield. There's the big kick down towards the box, headed away by Huntington on the far side of the field. That is rolled out of bounds, and nobody touched it for the Foresters after it was nicked by the Fighting Saints. So it's out for a throw for Huntington. There's a header from Salgado. Back ahead to Corona. St. Francis has controlled possession over the last several minutes. They've not had too many good looks, haven't gotten in too deep into the Huntington defensive territory. But controlling time at least, after Huntington had a few good attacks over the first couple of minutes of the game. Here's Giallo. Giallo rolls it ahead where it's intercepted. That one taken away by, I think that was Megan Smith who got it. Correction, I believe that was Madison Pamakeda. Here comes Shar. Shar right out in front of her. And a nice job by Corona controlling the ball, not taking it in too quickly. The defense was bearing down on her. She keeps possession. Back to the defensive side. Kelly Piotrowski, who has spent some time over her 5-year career with the University of St. Francis as a forward, playing on defense today and stepping up from the defensive end, but not able to sustain the attack. Piotrowski gets it back. She rolls her way forward, off to the left side, looking for the through ball and can't quite get it through. She was trying to find Alexis Mariquin. It was knocked away by the Huntington defense, but out the back line. So we're going to get our first corner kick for St. Francis from the far side of the field. It is Litzy Mendez who has the ball set up for the corner kick. Mendez makes her approach. The kick is played in off the ground, short, in front of the near post. There's a shot on the turnaround, and it didn't quite curl enough to get towards the goal, went right past it. Ireland Arney stood there and watched. Nothing she could do about it as it got by her, but it never was able to bend towards the net. So perhaps the first true scoring chance for the Fighting Saints today, as they got a shot off. Does not go on goal, though. And so the Fighting Saints will try to start it over from the sideline here. Sent to the middle of the field. Here's Litzy Mendez with a good first touch. Back towards Mendez. And Mariquin couldn't get it to her. Intercepted by Huntington. And the Foresters take possession with just a shade over 33 minutes to play in the first half of action. Here comes Corona. Corona forced off the ball by Bryant. Good defense by Alex Bryant. Here's Stevenson. Megan Smith hits the ground, keeps possession of the ball as we play on. This is Allison Shar. Junior transfer from Moraine Valley Community College, trying to work it through. Intercepted by Huntington, cleared back towards midfield, into the midfield circle. And Piotrowski, wearing the bright green shoes, steps up and knocks it back towards the sideline. Emily Galvin. Back to Pekalski, and Pekalski ahead to Shar. The Saints playing deliberately from the defensive side. Slow start to this one from a couple of teams who struggled to score goals last year, struggled to win games as well. Both of these sides won just twice during the spring of 2021. Here's Shar passing it back. Piotrowski goes towards the net, and Yadira Estrada tries to clear it from the goalkeeper's box. Intercepted quickly by Megan Smith, but right back to the Fighting Saints. First meeting that these two teams have had ever on this field. Last time they met up was a 1-goal victory for Huntington. That was at Huntington. And that's Huntington, Indiana, in the Fort Wayne area. Foresters made a trip of about 3 hours to get here for this one. First game of the year for them, as it is for the Fighting Saints. Again, they did not play each other last year, but both teams ran into similar seasons. So the Saints take control here. It's Giallo on the sideline. Giallo forces it down the sideline, looking for Litzy Corona. She did not have her. And instead it goes out of bounds for a goal kick for Huntington. 31 minutes to play, first half. And we have no score so far. Grand total of just one shot. That one shot belongs to St. Francis. Did not go on goal. It was a good look for a moment, but it played parallel to the net rather than curling towards the net. Here's Giallo. Giallo rolls it towards the sideline. Picked off there by Madison Pamakeda, the sophomore from Pennsylvania. Smith in the middle of the field. Passed back, and here's Stevens. Kalena Stevens works it ahead for Huntington. The Foresters get it near midfield. Push towards the near sideline. It's Grace Gibson. Grace Gibson working against Grace Giallo. Passes it back, and Huntington resets on the defensive side. Huntington last season finished with 2 wins in 13 chances. They did tie once. 2-10-1 was the final record. Pekulski watches that one drift out of bounds. Throw-in coming up here for the Fighting Saints from deep in their own territory. Fighting Saints went 2-8-1 last year. So similar records. Both teams won twice and tied once. Huntington lost a couple more games because they played a couple more games. Off the inbounds throw, it's Galvin. Back to Pekulski. Pekulski sends it to the middle of the field. This is Kelly Piotrowski. Far sideline intercepted by Huntington, and now the Foresters have the counterattack. Stevenson passes to the left. Nice job stepping in. That was Galvin for St. Francis coming up with the stop. Sylvia Harris keeps it going for the Foresters. There's Courtney McCone turning it upfield, and there's nobody else there on her team to help her out. So a weak ball right there is halted in the hands of Yadira Estrada, the senior goalkeeper from Monroe Center, Illinois. There's Estrada again. Hasn't been forced to make a save yet, but has gotten herself involved. She's involved right here, stepping up and booting that one towards the sideline, right under the leg of her intended target. Kept alive, though, by the Fighting Saints. Mendez ahead for Salgado. Long run, Mariquin, not Salgado. Mariquin chased it down, but it rolls out of bounds, and it's going to be Huntington ball here. In fact, a throw in from the sideline, looks like. At midfield, sent back towards Piotrowski. Just under 28 minutes to go now in the first half. Still scoreless. Here's Mendez. Saints on the move. They get into the attacking third of the field. This is Shar. Shar pushes it through from Mariquin. Mariquin looking for the cross off the head of Grace Giallo, and that ball dies in front of the net. Bounces a couple of times as it rolls towards the sideline, and it's scooped up there by Ireland Arney. Nice idea from Grace Giallo trying to head it in. Giallo finished last season without a goal scored. Trying to pick up her first of the year right there. In fact, Giallo did not officially have a shot last year. I think that one was counted as one, so that was her first shot in the last 2 years. Giallo has been a defensive player throughout much of her career here at St. Francis. The senior from Plainfield is playing midfield today, so I don't know if that's a permanent positional switch for her, or if Al Pilar's trying something out today. We'll see if it continues throughout the year, but Giallo stepped up to play the midfield. The defense for the Fighting Saints is young, with the freshman Emily Galvin back there. At least on the near side, it's young. A lot of experience there with Kelly Piotrowski and Lauren Pekulski, both who have been around for a while. Down the sideline, long run for Litzy Corona trying to chase that ball down, but Alex Bryant gets there before Corona can. Bryant passes back to Arney. And that starts possession for Huntington. 26 minutes to play first half. Here's Giallo. Giallo took her first shot moments ago, looking to set something else up now. Allison Shar on the near side. Back to the middle of the field. Here's Mendez. Rolled out to Galvin. No hurry here for the Fighting Saints. Taking their time trying to build a perfect attack. Sent into the box and knocked away by Huntington. Cleared by the Foresters. Reagan Stevenson is on the attack. Stevenson tried to get that ball through, but a beautiful play by Lauren Pekulski is able to halt that ball and not allow it to reach Courtney McCone, the intended target. Saints ball from the defensive side. Natalie Salgado down the sideline looking for Mariquin. She's got her. Mariquin stays on side looking for the cross. She was trying to find Litzy Corona, deflected in the air by Huntington, and the Foresters, for the moment at least, have taken it away. Saints trying to get it right back. It's Giallo. Giallo does control possession for the Fighting Saints. Giallo gives it back to Galvin. And here come the Fighting Saints, preparing the attack. Shar has the cross, and it's deflected away. She was trying to find Mariquin. Here's a battle for the ball on the Huntington side of the field. Forrester's not able to clear it. Mariquin gets it back for the Fighting Saints. And now there's the clearance by Huntington. Back to midfield. Kelly Pietrowski steps up for the Saints and rolls it off towards this side of the field. Here's Shar. One touch back to Pekulski from Pietrowski. Just under 24 and a half minutes to go, first half. No score. Still no shots for Huntington. The Saints have a couple of them. They have not yet, though, had to test Ireland Arney. No shots on goal. She hasn't been challenged up to this point. Pekulski is trying to put a stop to Avery Jaguar. Jaguar keeps it alive, but not for long. Taken back by the Saints and sent back to the Huntington defense. Here's Arney. Ireland Arney to her left. Passes ahead. That's Stevenson. Stevenson to Giallo. Giallo gets it further inside. A shot from Litzy Corona sails well to the left. I'm not sure if that was deflected. Looks like it was not. Just a wild shot from Litzy Corona. Corona's a junior, transferred from Goshen College in Indiana. She's originally from closer to this area, Burbank, Illinois. It looks like we're going to have a quick break here as we near the halfway point of the first half. It is an uncomfortable evening out there. 23:07 to play in the first half. And we will take a break for refreshments. Temperatures have been in the low 90s. Very humid today. Very unpleasant conditions to be playing a game in. And so they are going to add a few extra stoppages to play just to make sure that everybody stays hydrated and nobody collapses down on the field. Although it is starting to cool off just a little bit, and I'm not sure that that's such a good thing because there does appear to be some rain on its way in. So we'll see what the weather does going forward. They'll play through the rain. Lightning could be a bigger problem if that becomes a factor. There was some off in the distance a little bit ago, so hopefully that doesn't find its way here. But the other factor that we may see come into play, aside from these extra stoppages for water, because of the heat and the uncomfortable weather, we might see a little bit more liberal use of the benches for these two teams. We'll see how that plays out going forward. We haven't seen any substitutes come in yet, but it is a difficult night to stay out there for the full 90. And especially when you consider the longer benches that these teams have. Both teams have bigger rosters than you're accustomed to seeing here, and that is primarily, I think, because of the eligibility rules that were extended as a result of the weirdness of last season with the coronavirus and all. Not that this season's not also weird, as we're back underway. Goal kick sent away by Huntington. Things are a little more normalish right now. The schedule, for one, playing soccer in August, is a little bit more familiar than it was last year playing through February and March, as that ball's rolled out of bounds, last touch by Huntington. And St. Francis will get a throw here. But due to some players exercising an extra year of eligibility, the benches are a little longer than you would typically see. I don't know how that's going to play out over the course of this season for any team, let alone St. Francis. I don't know if Al Pilar's idea is to use that bench a little bit more than he typically might, but we'll see how it plays out. There is a sub coming on right now for St. Francis, Claudia Hernandez, but she gets to play all of about 3 seconds before play is halted, and this time it's not for water. Well, I guess it is for water, but not as it was before. It's the weather that's forcing this stoppage right now. The winds have picked up, and it is howling like mad outside right now. So with storms coming in, we are going to have a stoppage. 22 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock for the first half. We delayed play just 50 seconds ago to give everybody a water break because of the excessive heat and humidity. And just 50 seconds after coming back on the field, we've got another delay, this one weather-related. So I'm going to step aside for right now. 22-17 to play, first half, and we've got a weather stoppage. Hopefully this doesn't last too long. We'll keep things monitored and see where it goes. The bench on the home side just flipped over. That's how strong the winds are right now. And so all the players and fans are making their way off the field and out of the benches. So I will step aside right now and hopefully be back soon with the resumption of this game. We'll see where things go. But no score, 22-17 to play first half when we're able to continue.